Yo, what up? In this episode, I'm going to be talking about ERC20 tokens. I'm going to be talking about Hex. I'm going to be talking about just some random ERC20 tokens, Civic, Osmisigo. I'm going to go revert the conversation back to Ethereum Classic. I'm going to revert the conversation to why I think ERC20 tokens are Ethereum's version of a casino and that kind of thing. So I'm just going to roll with the episode. So a lot of people that get into crypto, me included, you have this idea of Lambos, all this money, win Lambo. Let me go and tell you, never, never with that mindset, ever. So get over the whole Lambo thing. And that's kind of the branding behind this Hex coin or Hex token. I'll get into that. I'll get into the other stuff I just mentioned I'm going to be discussing in this episode. Let me start out this episode by telling you guys that I don't care what tokens, I don't care what crypto blockchains, I don't care what cryptocurrencies that you buy, spend, use, hold, stake. I don't care. And you shouldn't care what I have. I simply don't care. You guys are grown adults. Buy what you want. My only purpose of these videos is to bring light to what I think, and hopefully it'll open up your mind to either agreeing or disagreeing with me, and that can both be beneficial for you. So that's the only purpose of these videos. So I'd like to start out by just kind of bringing and clearing the air on exactly my thoughts on ERC20 tokens and how I think that they're basically just a giant casino. And I think the underlying technology since Ethereum has moved to proof-of-stake has just validated more on what I already thought about them in the first place. And what does that mean exactly? So a lot of times I really feel these ERC20 tokens are just founders staking their coins, holding the majority of the supply, and dumping it slowly over time to new people coming into the game. And this isn't really hard to build out. I don't know how to specifically do it, but I would love for somebody, if you're watching this channel, to build out an aggregated data set or graph, an aggregated data graph of ERC20 tokens as they come into existence and what the trading pairs are as they come into existence over time, as well as the release supply over time. And I don't know how you'd figure all the inputs and outputs on that, but I tried to find a graph on that online and there doesn't seem to be one, which is not surprising. But it seems like that would really matter because a lot of these ERC20 tokens I see come in, well, all of them that I've seen, including ones that I've promoted on this channel just because of high returns. Osmisigo at the top of the list. You guys have heard me talk about it dozens of times. It seems to me that these ERC20 tokens, when they come into existence, it involves a smart contract. But what I think is missed there is there's usually only initially, from what I've seen, and this might have changed in present day, but it seems like the ones that have came into existence out of basically thin air, they literally are only tradable initially against Ethereum. And if they come in over time, they might acquire a Bitcoin core trading pair and other trading pairs, Litecoin and what have you. But I think that has to do also with the exchanges manipulating their own bag on their own ERC20 token that they're trading on their exchange. And a lot of people don't really know how ERC20 tokens work. Well, they're just built on top of Ethereum, most simply. They're not, and even though their value is separate from the actual underlying asset, native token, Ether on Ethereum, there is some kind of parallel between the two because, like I said, when these ERC20 tokens come into existence, their initial trading pairs are only Ethereum. So over time, as they acquire these new trading pairs against BTC-core, mineable cryptocurrencies, yeah, that might change the game as time progresses. But it really makes me wonder, how much hold does Ethereum have against Bitcoin Core, which is even a scarier thought. So I don't know, guys. Those are just my personal thoughts on ERC20 tokens. Like I said, I've promoted ERC20 tokens, Osmisigo, on this channel before, and that's simply because Osmisigo has had an incredible return and it was one of the first coin or tokens to rise in 2021. But it almost makes me wonder, and I don't have the founder brought in front of me, I just had him on here. It's no need to bring him up. It's some Asian guy and the founder of Osmisigo. You know, that could very simply just be him staking his Osmisigo, dumping it over time, and that has some kind of correlation with how the graph is perceived to us, the new investor coming in. So I got Hex pulled up here simply because Hex is up. It's actually up 270% from like January 28th, like a 2.7x, like it's like 260, 270x. Up from I think like 18 cents to 70, somewhere around there, cents or 7 cents, 0.026 to 0.07 something. So it's like somewhere around the range of like 260% gain. It's kind of going in between 170, 260. Big jump, but nonetheless, it's up. So I'm not gonna like repeat the video that I already watched on whether or not I think Hex is a scam or not. I personally think I haven't reached a conclusion about Hex. I haven't reached a conclusion about ERC20 tokens in general, because despite on everything I just said on the downfalls of them, the returns in the graph perception to the consumer and the trader, the retail trader, whatever coming in, it appears different from if you are at start to finish with the coin and you're watching the coin from start to, or the token from start to finish. We're talking about ERC20 tokens here, guys. So start to finish, because for one, this coin had a lockup period, and that's when a majority of the gains happened. Richard Hart owns 90, and he's the creator of Hex, by the way, if you didn't know that. And I was a fan of Richard Hart quite a while ago. I appreciated his channel. I still think he's, fine. I don't have any personal bias against him. But the day he decided to start creating his own coin was the day his own token was the day I stopped and unsubscribed from his channel. I will tell you that, because I remember exactly. I'd been watching him for fucking almost a year, and then he just switched into going to his own token, and I was like, okay, yep, I'm done. Red flag. But now here we're sitting a couple years later, and the gains on this coin have been absolutely, it's gone down, it's basically crashed, but crashed from what? It's still up thousands of percents, at least hundreds of percents. I don't know exactly, I don't have the graph right in front of me. I really don't care exactly, but it's up quite a bit from where it started. But again, these ERC20 tokens, like you have this Hex token, you have to lock it up. And then two, once you do sell, it pays you with newly minted Hex. It's not like you get paid in a decent, like a mineable. It doesn't settle in a cryptocurrency with your guaranteed lockup gains. So like it's definitely a scam in that sense for sure, just because of simple inflation within the token itself. But at the same time, the perceived gains of being in there in the beginning to where it's at now, it still offers gains to the original bag holders. And whether or not Richard Hart is dumping his 90% supply over time, and I'm gonna, like I said, watch the video, guys. It's very, very self-explanatory on this particular token and how it sidesteps from being a security and all that kind of stuff. But it makes me wonder, like, for one, how much pull does Ethereum actually have on BTC-core, which is the scariest thing one can imagine, regardless of any of these hypotheticals I've just mentioned on ERC20 tokens being a scam. For the most part, I think they are, and just in general. So it really makes me wonder, like, how much pull now with Ethereum being staked and being a 32 ETH validator, which is like, I don't know, it's probably over $100,000 just to be a validator, and the dev team owning as much as Ethereum coins as they have, and Vitalik owning as much as coins as they have. Like, the trust is predicated on those people, just like the trust in Hex is predicated on whether or not Richard Hart decides he wants to dump. I mean, if he's lying on his deathbed and says "fuck you" and click with a click of a button, he could simultaneously on multiple exchanges dump his coins. And that is the truth about Hex. That is the truth about, I would say, every single ERC20 token in existence. Is the original bag holders are the threat. In Ethereum, the validators are the threat, because if governments wanted to come in and buy out, and I know that sounds shady as hell, buy out these validators or buy out or force regulation on these validators around the world, they could crash Ethereum. And it is possible, guys. I say that with 100% confidence, and you can say, oh, Ethereum's got so many validators, this, that, and the other, and none, it's impossible for that to happen. No, it's not. And I'm going to pull up Ethereum Classic, because this is actually the original Ethereum protocol before the DAO hack. So I recommend, I'll put this link in there as well, just to check it out, because this right here is the real Ethereum, and the way that the gas generation and Ethereum gas actually really does get generated is in its original form here on Ethereum Classic, which is the original Ethereum. ETH, the Ethereum now that everybody calls Ethereum, is the forked blockchain. That is the after DAO hack, the rollback blockchain continued. This is the original Ethereum. It always will be. You can't change that. Ethereum Classic would have to roll back from their fucking Genesis block basically for that to change. So it's just not going to happen. So I'm going to drop all this stuff in here. And also I got this Civic coin pulled up because I've been following this coin for a while. And it seems like, yeah, like see, these are all proof of stake blockchains that this token is now moving into with this Web3. So I think Web3 is just a big giant staking party that's giving everybody that has a big bag in the ecosystem an upper hand. Zcash isn't promoting this shit. Dash isn't promoting this shit. Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin SV. And if you guys, it's going to sound like I'm about to sell you on Neo, but if you look at proof of stake coins like Neo, the way that they've developed their gas generation within their version of Ethereum gas. Let's compare Ethereum to Neo real quick. Their gas is generated just by holding Neo in a native wallet. Any wallet that supports Neo gas generation. There's tons of them. You can look into them. They even have their own native wallet, neo.org or whatever their website is. I'll put it in the link as well, or description. So you earn gas generation just on holding Neo. Now I think you have to have a certain amount of Neo now since they upgraded the original Neo blockchain to N3, which is the new one. But nonetheless, for years you could get, and I actually did this, guys. I actually was getting gas generated on my Exodus wallet up till the N3 move. So this isn't me just trying to sell you on something. I've generated gas. Yeah, it wasn't a lot, but it was free money, free tokens. And the interesting part about Neo compared to Ethereum, when you get paid from generating Neo gas, which is just the transaction, think of it like a giant tree or just a giant like waterfall, and you're at the bottom basically. If you're a little holder like me, you're getting or a whale at the top like me, whatever, you're getting different amounts of gas based on how many people are transacting on the network, whether that's using any transaction like making a smart contract or doing any kind of movement of funds. It requires gas, so you use the gas, and then that gas gets distributed to all the bag holders that are holding Neo. But the interesting part that sets it different from Ethereum is the actual gas that you get isn't paid out in Neo. It's paid out in gas tokens. So it's two separate tokens. There's Neo, or was the actual blockchain, like that's the actual cryptocurrency asset, but the actual gas is a separate token that you get. So you can actually sell that gas, which is supported on multiple exchanges. You can actually sell that gas as a separate token, and it has multiple trading pairs against gas. Look into that. I think it's on Binance and a bunch of other exchanges. There's quite a few exchange support for it, including non-custodial wallets that you can trade the gas for, whatever you want, Ethereum, Hex, whatever. I mean, whatever you want to trade it for. But that's the beauty of it. Like with Ethereum, you're not getting a separate token that's worth any money. In fact, now that it's 32, just to be a 32 with ETH to be an Ethereum validator, you're not getting shit because most people don't have 32 Ethereum, so they don't have any voting power. Not to mention, nobody's getting any fucking none of those same people are getting any free Ethereum or a separate gas or GUI token or whatever they call it on their network. But nonetheless, it's pretty interesting. So yeah, and back to this Civic coin. This is just another ERC20 Dookie project, and it's Web3. So it makes me think that this Web3, like I said, is just these giant back holders of ERC20 tokens, and they're just putting their token on these proof-of-stake blockchains, Solana, Polygon, and whatever else they want. And notice there's also a really good parallel to run too in your brain while we're talking about NEO. You don't see these same ERC20 tokens creeping into NEO. It's just ironic. I'm not saying that there's anything more past it being ironic. You just don't see it. So what is the reason to that? Why aren't these ERC20 tokens creeping into NEO? Ethereum or NEO was considered the Ethereum killer just a few years ago. It's been around since fucking 2014 in the form of ant shares, so it's right there with Ethereum. So it's just a little interesting that these Web3 DeFi projects are all moving to put it on Solana, put it on Polygon, put it on Matic, put it on all these things, and backtracking right back to NEO. Look at the things that have came out of NEO. Ontology. What came out of Ontology? There's another token that was not only an airdrop, which was another free money, which forks and airdrops are really the only way to sidestep regulation and being a security. I mean, if you really think about it, like Ethereum, I don't think it's ever going to be deemed a security just because it's so big now, but at its root core, like, what was it, right? So, and you could say the same thing about NEO. It was raised in an ICO as well, whatever. But also back to NEO, Ontology was airdropped, and I don't have the token that they used for their movement of Ontology or within the Ontology ecosystem. It's I want to tell you actually because I don't want to leave anything out here. One second, I want to give you guys the real thing. ONG, I think it is. Ontology was the actual blockchain. I don't know, but whenever Ontology pumps, it'll be right there with it. Just like gas and NEO was up today. There's usually if NEO goes up, gas is going to go up too, and that just seems to be the same thing with Ontology. And yeah, guys, I'm not trying to sell you guys on NEO. I don't want you guys to think I hold NEO. I've told you guys plenty of times my thought on NEO and how I think it's awesome and amazing in a variety of ways. But I think these ERC20 tokens are a problem because they're over promising and they're under delivering. It seems like more times than not. And I really think they are just the creators dumping their bag over time with lockup periods that create the illusion of a coin that's generating max gains, which really the only one gaining is the single person behind the computer screen dumping. Sorry. I mean, that's the truth. So, I got nothing but love for Richard Hart and all these people that are out here trying to make it, but it just seems to me that these parties always come to an end at some point. Whether it's, Terra Luna, whether it's, any of these lockup period, blockchains where it creates the illusion of massive gains, but that's just not true. That's just more people coming in, and more people coming in locking up. So I'd love for somebody to create a data graph, an aggregated data point graph on Excel or something showing this. I'm not too good at it, to be honest, so I'm not gonna try. It'll probably come out funky. But I guarantee I would almost guarantee, I'm not gonna say guarantee, I would almost guarantee that if you were found some way to XY axis the graph in a fashion where the ERC20 tokens coming in based on the trading pairs on Ethereum and based on which exchanges, when they change into offering more trading pairs correlated with the lockup periods, I think you'd see a pretty interesting graph that validated pretty much everything that I've said on this episode. So, agree with me, disagree with me. It is what it is. Like, dislike, prove me wrong. I'm always open to being proved wrong. I'm not going to sit here and say I know every single thing about ERC20 tokens, because I can assure you I don't. But I know what I know what I've seen, and I've been following this stuff obsessively for almost 6 years. So I guess I'm still here, so I guess that's something to be said. So let me know, guys. Hope you're having a great day, night, wherever you're at in the world, and we'll see if Richard Hart dumps, or we'll see if he holds. We'll see if Vitalik dumps. We'll see if his dev team holds, and we'll just see how it goes. I can't say that they won't hold, and if they do hold, the price will keep going up as long as more people and new people come in, because they're going to stake their coins to come in, because that's the only incentive of the narrative that they're passing off to you. So yeah, that's what this episode's about. ERC20 tokens, Hex, incredible gains, Civic token, awesome ECGO. There's thousands of other ERC20 tokens. They're nothing new. The first one I made an episode, just FYI, I made an episode when I started this little endeavor of doing these videos. Augur. So Augur is the first ERC20 token. So maybe go back and watch that video. It's kind of just for fun. But yeah, like I said, guys, have a great day, night, wherever you're at in the world. We'll catch you on the next episode. Later.